tonight to just everything that's going on with like parenting, back to school. We first started off, if you look on my page, there was a video of a father getting on a bus cussing out kids. Now we've moved on to mothers who are married but still consider themselves single moms because they're taking care of the children by themselves with their husband right there. Tracy said, I'm not forgetting, I left school in '89 and the killings had started already.
Here's my question. For the parents that think that they single, and I'm not asking just to ask, I did this. So I'm asking y'all, what is stopping y'all from, if you got a husband in your house, what's stopping y'all from picking up y'all keys and walking out the door? What the fuck, he gonna leave them? He gonna leave them in there? Like, what? I did it. So I'm saying, to the point where Eddie used to be like, okay, I understand that you can leave and you ain't got to ask me, but I don't even be knowing she in here after motherfucking time. Can you tell me? So I don't understand, like, if you see it going that way, you want a girls' night, what's stopping you from just leaving?
I feel like it, like you said a minute ago, once you allow something, then the tone is set. Yep. You know, when I was married, I worked that night, so the father had to tend to the child. Mm-hmm. I never went to doctor's appointment, rarely went to the school. He did everything. You gotta let these men do, like, you shouldn't try to be superwoman. But like you said, once you start that, then the tone is set.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's always a controlling aspect when a man isn't being fair to the marriage. So
if she tied down with them kids, she gonna be tied down with them kids.
Yeah, I ain't finna tend to no cheering all day. I'm outside.
She ain't gonna have no life. She gonna be tied to them kids.
I'm outside. Anyway, Lachey said, I have my moments. Tone, you asked her something about the divorce?
Yeah.
She said, I have my moments and definitely all the time.
Okay.
Lachey said, I'd rather do it alone since that's what I've been doing anyway.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so you feel like you're a single mother as a married woman.
I could do bad all by myself.
Hey, well, congratulations, girl, because it sounds like it's a congratulations moment.
Lachey said he may call the police, but they his kids too.
Right.
Tanya said,
get your kids and hit a girl.
Tanya said, I just did it. I picked me and mine up and moved out of state, and am absolutely loving it. Tanya, you don't live in the area anymore. I be like so clueless.
So Tanya, you saying you left your husband, girl, and picked you and your kids up and moved out, and you're much happier now? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, Lachey said we don't need dick. We have toys and vibrators.
Lachey, I can't agree with you on that one, baby. Right.
Okay.
A toy don't bend like a real dick. I'm just saying, girl.
Lachey said, I agree and love, but fuck that. Tracy said, yep, they are like an additional child. Tracy, that is exactly what the mom...
If you let them be.
The mom on TikTok, she said, it was like I had another child. And in the comments, so many women said, I've had such a relief on me since I left. Like,
yeah, I can see that.
Because it was pointless to be married. But you know, some people said that the men do that so they won't pay child support or you know, split the bills. Like, I'm gonna stay with her, but I ain't trying to send to these kids.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I feel like not all women, but a lot of women have this perception of what marriage is supposed to be. So when they get married, they try to do it all themselves. They try to be the Holly homemaker. They try to be the executive, and then they get burned out. And you start blaming your husband. Yeah. Then you start blaming, not even with the kids, just you and him together. Then you start blaming him. You're not helping me out. Well, bitch, you act like you were Superwoman for the first 6 months. He's used to sitting on his ass. He's used to not helping you. He's used to letting you handle it all. So why complain about it once you're sick of it? Bitch, don't start that shit.
Yeah, it's all on what you allow.
Right.
Like okay, Angie has entered and she said, I would imagine the mothers,
ATL Ange.
She said, I would imagine the mothers don't want the hassle involved by just leaving the kids with a non-consenting dad husband.
Right, but he will get consenting if you walk out, grab your handbag, girl, and hit it. He ain't got no choice but to be consenting because the kids gonna come to him.
Tanya says she's moved out of the area and she has been absolutely in love with it.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Frenchie said men always providing more than we ever get credit for. Now, Frenchie,
like
let me say this first, because Frenchie's an amazing father.
Okay.
So I feel like when you're an amazing father, and I'm not saying it's an anomaly because my son has an amazing father.
I got an amazing father.
So it's definitely not an anomaly, and I'm not a male basher at all because my son has an amazing dad. But we have to be realistic, Johnson. That's Frenchie, that's what we used to call them. Mm-hmm. There are these stories are coming from married women. They not making this up. So it's validity to it. But let me finish your comment. He said men are always providing more than we ever get credit for. They don't leave because that support exists but isn't acknowledged. Not all the time. Somebody thumbed up Frenchie question.
I feel like Frenchie,
what you thumbing up his
Frenchie, I feel like I feel like you right to a certain extent, but I feel like men equate a lot of things to financial things, and they feel like a lot of men feel like because they are the majority breadwinner, even though she has a job, he holds it down financially that he don't have to do nothing else.
Frenchie's a hands-on dad. But let me go.
Well, that's great because a lot of them are.
Some of them are. I'm not gonna say a lot. There. Frenchie said that's dumb. He said this to Lachey. That's dumb. You need it if you need a toy replacement. He said that to Lachey, saying that she don't need the D. Lachey said, I love D, but I can't stay for that. Lachey, it's more D out here, baby.
Girl, yes.
And Akila said, my boo does everything. He works 2 jobs. Then on top of that, drop kids off at school, come home, help me. Look, Akila, but you don't have kids though.
Wait,
what kids is
who
these?
sharing are they?
And Asia said that's because women are always told what it is to be a good wife. That's true, Asia.
That's what I'm saying, Asia. That's embedded in your brain, and then you start this shit. You want to start your marriage out right. You're doing everything. This is what a wife is supposed to do. Instead of setting your own standard as what your version of a wife is, we play into these stereotypes, and then you sick of that shit. Because realistically, the stereotypes that we're following are the bitches from the 50s who ain't had no motherfucking job.
70 years ago.
Right, they ain't had no job. Them bitches had 8 hours to get the house clean and the shit cooked and all of that. And they had 8, 9 hours to do that.
Minutes. So y'all get noodles on McDonald's.
You know what I'm saying? You better pick up something home.
Y'all get oodles and noodles or Mickey D's. Pick y'all
poison. Or let the churn cook. Like, but so I feel like you are setting yourself up to fail from the gate when you start that shit. You got to set your own standard of what your version of a wife is. Okay,
Keisha says she been there, done that. Lachey said French Johnson, I know, but he will think everything is all good when it's not. Penis is abundant, Tracy said.
Very.
And Akila said,
Brownie.
Akila said these are her boo's kids. And Tanya said, you better say that, girl, to you, Tonette.
It's just you got to set your own standard.
Okay, we're going to move along. That was great. I love that
was.
Frenchie, thanks for joining us because we need more men's perspective. Because, we can't, at the end of the day, we can't give a point of view of a man because we're not men. And I love the fact that you are a hands-on dad and you had something. You chimed in on the right night, Frenchie. Okay, how many kids is, like, considered a turnoff for you? Like, how many kids is too many kids? And, like, what's a complete no when you're pursuing a mate and the number of kids? Because I don't know if y'all saw the post I put up yesterday where a girl, I guess she was on a dating site and a guy liked her profile. He probably saw her picture and liked it. But when he delved into her like bio, he was like, hey, I'm not interested. And then she said, damn. She said, I'm sorry, what was it? He was like, I saw your profile, I'm not interested. And she was like, I'm just curious, what was it? Bitch, why you asking? He goes and writes a whole paragraph saying she already got this many kids, she 35, so that means this and that. So my question is, because I feel like some people give up, some people lose out or miss out on really good people because they have a certain number of kids. And you can meet a guy with no kids that's a total jerk. So women and men, what's your limits to the number of kids that you would consider messing with somebody that, pursuing somebody? I'm going to say this. My answer at 30 is not the same answer I have now. How old are you now? I'm 44 now, and I feel like the perception is where you are in life. Right now, a gang of kids to me is 3 or more. 3 or more is a gang. If in my 20s and 30s, bitch, you got 3 kids, go your way. But 44, chances are, even if you got 9 kids, all them bitches grown, or at least the youngest is 16, 17. So it really don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Even if you heavily involved in your kids' lives, most times they're off to college, they got their own jobs, their own families. So it really doesn't really matter how many kids you have at my age. But in my 30s, bitch, I ain't fucking with nobody with 3 or more. Okay, Frenchie said, my wife now had 4 kids when we reconnected. She did better with 4 than my child's mother did with 1. I was at the baby shower. Anyway, okay. But co-parenting is an extreme challenge. If she handles her business and makes time, you can both win. Okay, Frenchie, fuck co-parenting. When you first met her and you came back around, y'all rekindled or whatever, she had 4 children. Did anything in you say
Damn, bitch, you got 4. Not to call your wife a bitch, but this is just how I talk, Frenchie. I know you knew here. But did you second guess that? Did you was like, hold on now? And did you already have kids when y'all hooked back up?
He had one daughter.
How old was your daughter around the same age as any of her kids? Because that could be a vibe. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if your daughter was like 20 and her kids was little, that might be a problem.
Tracy, you done lost your damn mind. Tracy said 6, 6 and up. He can have
6 and up what? Sharon.
She said as long as he's a good dad, but maybe 6 and up. That's too many.
Yeah, but Tracy's our age, so if he got 6 kids, most likely they all grown.
She said, but it's not a focus for her. The number of kids. He has.
Period. Okay.
Yeah.
Tracy, you a bold girl?
Sue said she's an avid believer of fuck them kids, but she's also young, so she don't want to be.
I also said 1 was too many.
Oh, she said 1 was too many,
and that's why she's gonna be single. She's gonna be a spinster.
Oh, my new man don't have no kids.
Okay, good luck with that.
Okay, Tracy said
marry him.
Tracy said she has.
She gonna find another one.
Tracy said she has 4 kids, so she tries not to be judgmental because she got a gang of kids herself.
Mm-hmm.
Frenchie said,
"Okay, I see that."
He said, "No, I didn't say that, and yes, I had a child. She accepted mine, and I accepted hers."
Okay, so it wasn't a problem for you from the gate. Frenchie, you sound like you're very family oriented though, so I can see how that.
Thanks for not saying orientated.
Girl, I speak English.
Okay, my whole thing is, I feel like Tracy a little bit. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because it's more so like your character. How do you act around your kids? You can have one child and be like a jerk or whatever.
Or a terrible father.
I feel like it's not a big focus, but I do feel like the age of the kids is like a hindrance for me.
Are you fucking with somebody with a 5-year-old?
If you have a smaller child, I really would not want to be bothered with that. But at the same token, these adult kids, like mine,
yeah. Are worse than the small kids.
Can present.
What's going on here?
Nothing, boo.
Adult kids can present to be a major problem, even over smaller kids, because smaller kids, some of them are very loving. They just want like another friend, an extra mom or whatever.
Yeah.
But teenage kids and adult kids start saying like, "You picking them over me. You not." They start doing all this, that, and the third. Which leads to our next question. I'm gonna read your comment.
Well, also number 2 on that one. You also have adult kids that if they are manipulators, then they're going to really hate you, and that's going to cause friction because you're going to be telling them, "Bitch, this is retarded. Why are you giving her that? Why are you doing that?"
I think you put that question in there.
What?
Can adult kids ruin your relationship? Like,
Oh yeah, I did.
Huh?
I did.
We talked about that. Oh, Tone had put that in.
But I feel like yes, they can.
Okay, Angela said, "At my age, I'm not interested in men with kids under 13 and no more than 4."
How old are you, Angie?
And Sue said, "I love kids too, but not for my man."
Goddamn. So you ain't trying to be
the adult kids are just as bad. LOL.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. So that's that. If you have any more answers on that, chime in.
Absolutely.
And moving along. Oh, I had went back to last.
Okay,
week.
so these are good, girl.
This is
like I ain't blind as a bat.
Okay. we did that. Okay, so this one is kind of off topic. Okay. Oh no, this one is the last one that's really like a child's topic. Mm-hmm. Our children's behaviors, and I feel like it's kind of piggybacking off of what Sue and Tone said that this has all been going on. We just see it on social media. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this question is: do you feel like children's behaviors are different than they were, in the past 20 years? Do you feel like mental health, more mental health diagnosis and all this other like, things like ADHD, autism, other like behavior problems are more prevalent now than they were 20 years ago? And have you ever been afraid of your child as a parent? Please don't say, "Oh hell no," because there
whoop his ass,
there are tons of parents that are really, really afraid of their kids. The kids nowadays, y'all can say what y'all want, but back in our day, back in the James Evans on Good Time, pulling out the belt and beating, kids
knew better.
Huh? Now kids are different. Kids will stab their mother, shoot their mother, strangle their mother, rape their mother, and all this and that. They don't fear authority. They don't fear anyone.
Okay.
So
on your
Go ahead.
background, I want you to go first on that one.
Um,
I'm interested to see what you have to say about
I
that.
feel that Angela says she's 45, but I feel
Okay, so
that,
you are around my age.
okay, I feel like back in our day, just thinking back to when we were in like 7th grade or something, you know, it was always one Mike Tyson in the class.
Mm-hmm.
Borderline, should have been down in the infirmary, but he seeped through the cracks and got up in your class.
Mm-hmm.
They always said, he hyper.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they called it. Even the professionals, he hyper. It wasn't a thing.
And they just keep sit your ass down. It wasn't no medicine. That was the medicine.
An intellectual delay. It wasn't ADHD. It wasn't.
Did people get IEPs back then?
Yeah, but you know,
It's not like it was now.
yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like now so many kids, and I feel like, you know, me and Sue discussed this a lot. I feel like it's because of the food we eat.
I agree. Oh, I
and
definitely
just
agree
the
with
way
that.
that the world is going.
Mhm.
You know, every family, if you had a family that had like 14 kids, it was always like one special child that was like, you know, slow for lack of a better term. But now, somebody might have 5 kids, and all of them, all of them are
all the time. All of their kids.
all of them are
are
autistic, or all of them are intellectually delayed. All of them
I know
are
a family like that.
you know, just hyperactive and things like that. So I do think that in the past 20 years now, I did not do research, so I'm just using 20 years. I don't know how many years it's really been, but I do think that there has been a shift, and there are a lot more children with a lot of psychological problems, which lead to behavior problems and things of that nature. There are a lot more parents that are afraid of their children. They don't know how to handle their children with their whatever diagnosis, and you know, of course, they tried all these different things, medicine, all kinds of stuff. So I do think that there are a lot of parents that are afraid of their kids, and I do think that there has been a shift in children overall, just being violent, and you know, just all of that. Like, people really used to be afraid of their parents.
I feel like you are absolutely right in that aspect. Like, we knew not to play with our mama. We knew not to play with, ain't nothing better than I'm gonna tell your father. I know in my household that shit worked. Now, that don't mean a motherfucking thing to a lot of these kids. I also feel like there has been a shift in mental health. I personally feel like everybody got a little mental health issues. Every person on the planet. Now, whether it's gonna shine through at whatever time, whatever crisis you go through, everybody gets depressed. Everybody gets, you know what I'm saying? So everybody has a degree of mental illness, or not mental illness, but mental health issues at some point in their lives. But I feel like these kids, something wrong with these
Stop having
motherfucking
all
kids.
these churn.
Something
I feel like
wrong
we
with these
need to be like
motherfucking kids.
I feel like we need to be like China.
I also feel like
2 kids a family.
a lot of people blame, I ain't gonna say blame, a lot of people cite mental illness as the reason why their kid doing what the fuck they doing, when it's not that. It's discipline. It's you coddled this child. It's your mama's aunties and all of them that told you doing that shit is gonna fuck your kid up, and you wait till they 12 and you like, I can't figure out why he like that. Bitch, they told you growing up that what you was doing was fucking him up, but you kept doing it because you know your baby. You know what I'm saying? You don't discipline him. He fuck up. He's still in the store. You think it's cute. You laughing. He calling you a bitch. You think it's funny and all this. And girl, don't say that. You think it's all funny until he's 15 and he's 6'2" now calling you a bitch. Now you scared. So that's not mental illness, bitch. That's poor parenting.
And that's a great point. And I also feel like just the factor that a lot of the parents were born from substance abuse and they wasn't wrapped too tight themselves.
Yes.
Then they want to turn around and get 16, 17, 18 and have 3 and 4 kids.
Yes.
When they don't have it all together, they don't know how to raise their kids. They don't know how to parent their kids because they, you know, them and their kids are all in the same boat.
And they're basically getting raised together. You know what I mean? And you having a baby most times. Okay, if you're, especially somebody, like, and I'm not trying to stereotype at all, but I'm just saying, like, especially if you grew up in the hood life, you got a fucked up household. The nigga you have a baby by got a fucked up household. What you think the kid gonna have, or what you think type of issues the kid is gonna have? And that's not hey, you can't help who you fall in love with. You can't help, you know, who you have a kid by.
You can,
but I mean, not really. If the person,
And
That's a whole
besides
nother
the
story.
right.
That's a whole nother story. But you know what I'm saying? You having a baby, you fucked up, he fucked up, and y'all have a baby. What the fuck is the baby gonna be?
If you get pregnant by Mike Tyson, you already know what's in store.
Okay, Robin was a little crazy too, girl.
Okay, moving on to the questions. Jessica Lynn has entered.
Hey, Jess.
Asia said, I think.
Thank you for looking out for my cousin, girl.
Asia said, I think those are kids with background mental health issues. Daryl said, that's
But
because
Asia,
nowadays kids' punishment is gifts, not punishments.
Asia, but they saying everything is a mental illness. And even if you look on the news, and the first thing they try to say is he's had problems with depression. He's done this. They said this in school that he was always. Bitch, sometimes they just crazy or they're not disciplined or you know what I'm saying. It ain't always mental illness.
And trust me, the psychiatrist at our job, if somebody leave out the room, he be like, he crazy for real.
Yeah,
he uses
they
the
know.
term crazy all the time.
They know.
Okay. Keisha said, yes, the pesticides and the hormones in our foods. Not
Absolutely.
to mention the genetically modified things, including weed.
We don't even have.
You see my comment?
We don't even have real food now, Keisha. It's all processed. It's all these big ass motherfucking thunder thigh chicken wings they serving. Girl, you know something's wrong there. We ate real food. So our generation, the crazy ones, they was crazy.
Sue said the new girls think it's cute to smoke while they're pregnant and stuff like that, drink, all of that, do shots while they're pregnant and all of that.
And if I see one more bitch that's 8 months talking about the doctor said you can have wine, that don't mean you should, bitch. That don't mean get fall down drunk.
Tracy said it's definitely in the food, the baby pampers, the baby milk.
The air.
Sue said, I also think it also goes back to social media being the problem. Lachey said, now they look you in the face and not give a fuck. The kids. Preach.
Yes, the fuck they do.
David Howard has entered, and David said kids are different because of the environment.
Hey,
Society
David.
plays a big part in it. Mental health and mental illness is real, and they don't really address the problem until it's too late.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And I'm not saying everybody who says they have mental illness or is diagnosed with mental illness don't have it. I say a good 90% of it, but there's a lot of motherfuckers out here too. You're trying to blame your poor parenting on something being wrong with your kid when it's not. Nothing wrong with your motherfucking kid.
Angela said, I agree. This generation is using mental illness as a scapegoat, not making light of those who really suffer, but it's being used lightly nowadays. And it's being used. It's been used so the parents could get like a SSI check for 3 and 4 kids.
But also, I also blame on the parents as well. Like when you want to fight your child's battles when they're growing up, you want to always. It's never your kid's fault.
For your child.
Yeah, it's no accountability. It's always somebody else's fault. Your kid ain't do shit. Your kid a motherfucking angel, even though he fucked you up every Tuesday night. So I think that's a lot. Yeah, I think that plays a part in it too. People are not, especially our generation. Our parents' generation, when they knew their kid, they just kept them in the back room. That was Uncle such and such. You know what I'm saying? We gathered the mental ill of our family. First of all, our generation refused to believe that there's even a problem. Ain't nothing wrong with their goddamn child. There's something wrong with everybody else but their child. And then they also see it, won't get any help for it, but want to live the life with the kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, the child is doing X, Y, and Z. You make an excuse for him. You cover it up to the whole family. You tell everybody else business, but you ain't tell what the fuck John did and how he did what he did in school. You don't tell that. So it's a lot of covering it up. None of that has to do with mental illness. That's you as a fucking parent.
That's true. That's a big factor.
Yeah.
Tracy
Get
said,
y'all kid.
Tracy said generational curses, and she also said, I swear, the food is scary.
It is, Tracy.
Asia said, so true, Tone. Some people really don't parent their kids.
At all.
Okay, so I feel like we covered a lot on the whole back to school, parenting, children. If you have anything else to add, you can feel free to type that in. But shifting a little bit.
I'm about to get ghetto and stay with the plates.
This question is, how old were you? And this question came up because someone had made a post and was like, black people always put their kids out at 18. I don't know why that has become a recurring topic every couple years. Black people put their kids out at 18 and white people, kids get to live with them. That's why, because this is what happened. It was a thing that said a white person making $125,000 a year and a black person making $125,000 a year live two different lives. And people in the comments came and said that's because the white person still gets to live at home. So my question is, everybody in the comments is black. How old were you? I do got a couple of white people in here, but they ain't on here tonight. How old were you when you left home, and was it by choice or by force?
I was 18 when I left home because I went away to college.
I'm talking about when you moved out on your own.
Oh, completely moved out? I moved out at 20. I came home from college at 21. I left at 22. When I got home from college, I was only at my mother's house for 6 months, and I never went back. I was one of the people who University of Maryland didn't have no housing, so I got my own apartment freshman year, and I lived on my own from freshman year, junior year, senior year, all that shit. So ain't no way in 4 fucks I was trying to go back to need a house, even though my mother was always. I did what the fuck I wanted. You know what I'm saying? And not saying it like that. She didn't know a lot of the stuff I was doing, but my mother, like, she was realistic. You're gonna go out, you're gonna do whatever. So I wasn't sheltered. But I didn't want to live with my mother. So I got out like 6 months after I left. My mother did not push me out. If you call my mother right today, she still tries to bribe me, saying that I can spend all my money on whatever I want. I can shop as much as I want if I move back in with her. My mother never wanted me to leave. But no, I'm not living with my goddamn mom.
Sue said she was 21 when she left home, and it was by choice. Trust me, I didn't want her to go.
No, she didn't.
I was flabbergasted when she said she was moving out. I was like,
I had to talk her into not moving in with Sue.
When she moves out, I went over her house every day
and stayed all fucking day.
And tried to bribe you. I'll cook dinner. I can cook my own dinner.
I'll clean up for you.
I was sad when she moved out, but
now
she could stay out.
Now she get put out from over here.
Okay, Michelle, Shelly, hey Shelly. Shelly said her child is 25 and spoiled as hell. He tried to leave home with what? He tried to
that loud tone.
Oh, he tried that loud tone with me when he was 15. A 5-piece to his dome, and we never had.
I know that's motherfucking right, Shelly.
We never had another problem.
And you ain't blamed mental illness enough, and you took 2 to his body. That was the medicine.
Lachey said she left home at 19 by choice. Tanya said at 18 it was by choice. I absolutely love living on my own, and my mom helped me every step of the way.
Yeah, mine did too. My mother was actually charging me rent and then gave me the money back for a couch.
Frenchie said 25 post-college, fell on my face and was allowed to go back home, regroup, and got it right the second time around.
Do you know any parents personally that threw their kid out at 18?
Chayeza said 16 by force. Homeless to my own place, drugs of the 90s. So she basically feels like she had to fend for herself.
Yeah.
So she was 16.
Yeah.
Akila said
But Chaz, I feel like you had a different situation in that instance. Like you ain't really
abuse.
Yeah.
But it's not like your mom said you're 18, go fly.
Get the fuck out, right?
Akila said your mom wants you to come back home, Tone. She misses you, LOL.
She does.
But I think that
tells Tina.
I don't think that it's totally based on culture. You know, I had a white coworker. Her parents sucked, so she did the whole grind of trying to work 2 jobs, getting her own place. She just was very frugal and very, you know what I'm saying? She didn't spend money unless she had to. Mm-hmm. She thought and planned out everything. I think it's more like that versus like, I think everybody has what they like to do with their money. Mm-hmm. So some people like to ball out of control. Some people like to save for a rainy day and things of that nature. So, but I just always see that always goes around. Black people get put out at 18 and gotta fend for themselves.
Do you feel like that hurts the child?
I be knowing black people that never left home and they be 50.
I know about 4 of them. I can name off the top of my head.
So I just never liked that narrative.
But do you feel like the parents that do that? Do you feel like that's hurting or helping the child?
I know that it was this young white girl on Facebook. Her mom didn't put her out, but her mom gave her a contract where she had to pay I feel like what her mom did would be ultimately to help her. She had to pay rent. She had to be in at a certain time. She was, of course, upset because she felt like she was grown. But I think just putting anybody out, just throwing them to the wolves is not going to help them. I mean, some people will make their way and others will fall on their face. But I think that I don't think you should spoon feed your kids, but I think you should set a plan. Like Tanya said, she moved out at 18 and her mother helped her every step of the way. No, you shouldn't pay your child's rent But you know, you should help your child. You remember when we had the discussion weeks ago, like when you say a kid should be responsible, like for buying their stuff. Mm-hmm. They should be you know, you should help them to become responsible, but not you're 18. That means just go fly.
Right. I think, but also with them learning how